Your house feels perfectly comfortable. The air conditioner is running, the living room feels cool, the hallway feels cool. Then you go to bed and close the bedroom door. 20 minutes later, something changes. The room feels warmer, the air feels heavier, and suddenly you're kicking the blanket off again. So you do what almost anyone would do. You lower the thermostat. 70, 68, maybe even 66. And eventually, the rest of the house gets freezing cold. But somehow, your bedroom still doesn't feel right. Here's the strange part. If that bedroom gets noticeably hotter when the door is closed, your air conditioner might not be the real problem. The problem may be what happens to the air after it enters the room. Think about what your AC is actually doing. Cool air comes through the supply vent, but that air can't just keep piling into the bedroom forever. For the system to keep moving air efficiently, air also needs a path back out of the room, and eventually back toward the return side of the HVAC system. With the bedroom door open, that can be pretty easy. Air enters through the supply vent, moves through the room, then escapes through the doorway. But now, close the door. The supply vent is still trying to push air in, but depending on how the house was designed, you may have just made it much harder for that air to leave. And that's where things can start getting weird. The room may become slightly pressurized. Airflow through the supply can change. The room can stop exchanging air with the rest of the house as effectively. And suddenly, turning the thermostat lower doesn't solve the actual problem. It just makes the rest of the house colder. That's the mistake. You're asking the entire HVAC system to produce more cooling when one room may actually have an airflow problem. And colder air is not the same thing as better airflow. So before you call someone to replace the AC or spend hundreds of dollars trying to make the bedroom colder, there's a very simple test you can try. The next time the room feels unusually hot, open the bedroom door. Don't change the thermostat, don't move the fan, just open the door and give the room some time. If the bedroom starts feeling noticeably more comfortable, that's a clue. It doesn't prove exactly what's wrong, but it does tell you something important. The closed door is changing the way that room behaves. Now look around. Does the bedroom have its own return air grill? Not the vent blowing cold air into the room, but a larger grill that allows air to return to the system. If it doesn't, where is that air supposed to go when the door is closed? Some homes rely on the space underneath the door. Others use a transfer grill between the bedroom and hallway. Some use what HVAC professionals call a jump duct. And some bedrooms have a dedicated return. Different houses solve the problem in different ways, but the principle is the same. Air needs a way in, and it needs a way back out. And that's the part a lot of homeowners never think about. Because when a room is hot, we immediately think, not enough cold air. But sometimes, the room is getting cold air. It just isn't moving through the space correctly. There's another quick thing worth checking. Put your hand near the supply vent. Does the airflow feel strong? Is the vent completely open? Is furniture blocking it? If the airflow is unusually weak compared with other rooms, then the problem may be somewhere else. A crushed duct, a disconnected duct, a damper, a leak, or simply an HVAC system that isn't balanced properly. And if opening the bedroom door makes absolutely no difference, then the return path probably isn't the whole story. Now you start looking at the other suspects. Is this the room with the big west-facing window? Does it get blasted by afternoon sun? Is it directly below a hot attic? Does the ceiling feel warmer than the other rooms? Is the insulation poor? Is that room at the end of a long duct run? Because one hot bedroom can come from several different problems. That's why you don't want to jump straight to the most expensive solution. Start with the pattern. Does it get worse when the door closes? Does opening the door help? Is the supply airflow strong? Does the room have an obvious return air path? Those answers tell you much more than simply lowering the thermostat again.
And if the closed door really is part of the problem,
The solution isn't necessarily to sleep with your door open forever. A properly designed return path can allow air to move even when the bedroom door is closed. That might mean a dedicated return, a properly sized transfer grill, a jump duct, or another pressure balancing solution appropriate for the house. That's the point where having an HVAC professional check airflow and room pressure can actually be useful. Because now, you're not just saying, "My bedroom is hot." You're giving them a pattern. My bedroom gets hotter when the door closes. That's a very different problem. So tonight, if one room in your house refuses to stay comfortable, don't immediately make the entire house colder. Close the door, pay attention, then open it again. Because sometimes the problem isn't how much cold air your AC can make. It's whether that air has somewhere to go.